We now continue this discussion, this time with a member of an organization which has been leading the campaign of Open NAS for about 4 years. That's Budget. Abayomi Akimbo tells us how the journey up till now has been.
We looked at the National Assembly. Being the aim of law and order, the National Assembly doesn't have its budget in public. We looked at the budget from 2011, we looked at 2012, and then what you realize is you have only one line item there. 150 billion for about 4 years consecutively, and then there's no breakdown of what they're spending the money on. And you have about 469 lawmakers spending this. And when we ask questions, they tell us that there are still other workers in the National Assembly. They are under this, they are collecting payment from this 150 billion. But how do you justify that without a breakdown of the budget document? So we started this advocacy in 2013, but we made it bigger in 2014 alongside with our partner Enough is Enough Nigeria, and then we called it Open NAS. So we asked questions, we set about 5 goals, and one of the key goals is to open the National Assembly budget for the people to see. This didn't start on, of course, it started under the leadership of Senator David Mark, and then we, after a lot of freedom of information requests, a lot of articles written, a lot of press releases, a lot of online engagement, we didn't get the results, and we kept pushing it. So in 2015, there was a change of hand, of course, and then we had Senator Bukola Saraki as the Senate President, and we intensified the advocacy, and we made him understand that opening up the budget is not is in the interest of the people, in the interest of the government. I mean, where the transparency breeds trust. So people trust you when you open up budget document to them.
Now Nigerians have the figure, they can compare with the figure of the previous years. They see even the breakdown of it, and people are complaining. But how can Nigerians effect the change that they hope to see? Because sometimes these budgets are presented after it's gone through the process.
It is just a start, like you said, and it is not enough that we have the budget and people will not say anything, which is good that people are talking for them to see. I mean, for example, you look at the legislative aids, and there's a budget for that, about 9.6 billion for that. And out of this 9.6 billion, about 8.9 billion is for salaries. So the question people are asking is, how can 469 lawmakers have 8.9 billion budgeted for their aids? So there are 2 questions here. We see that 8.9 billion is a lot, because 9.6 billion is more than the allocation for some federal universities. So if you have this, that means we need to look at our allocation. How are we running governance? What is the cost of running governance? Is it that the aides are now enjoying that they have benefit more than some of the lecturers in the university? So realize that 469 lawmakers, I did a calculation. If you look at 8.9, you're looking about roughly about 19 million to 1 lawmaker. So how many legislative aides are attached to 1 lawmaker? That's the one question that we need to ask. If you have, let's say, more than 10, aren't they too much? Are they enough? Is that the reason why maybe we need to cut it down? Maybe one person can do the work of a media, or maybe one person can do the work of a research person, and maybe the Senate, a lawmaker doesn't need more than 4 legislative aides. Maybe perhaps that way we can cut the budget down to about 5 billion. I mean, these are questions that we need to ask, and these are the things that we're already asking. So now that we have the budget, the follow-up, there are 2 things. One, on the National Assembly side, we are looking at scrutinizing the budget and making them understand that, okay, some of these things need to be cut down. Let me move back a little. In 2016, we had 115 billion. And now in 2017, we had 125 billion. If they could have budgeted for 115 billion and we're okay with it, how come they are budgeting 125 billion now? Because everybody expected 115 billion, of course, as the new budget. I mean, from 150 to 120, 120 to 115. So why can't...
Money has lost its value.
Money has lost its value, but we need to understand that we are in a particular situation right now that we can't be running overheads. We can't be, cost of running governance is too much. The problem here is overheads. Because if you look at the budget, some of the institutes, some of the departments and the sectors taking these allocations have their overheads almost running at the same level with the capital or the personnel. So the overhead is the problem. because we are spending too much to run the cost to run governance. So we need to cut that down.
Well, Nigerians ask for the value now. They know it's 125 billion. And now we're hearing, a lot of criticism concerning the figure. We thought all you guys wanted was to know the figure.
Well, good thing they haven't signed the budget into law. But both houses have passed the budgets. They are okay with the 7.4 trillion that has been proposed. In 2016, in 2016 we had issue about the budget missing, and some of these items that were expected in the budget that were not included. And then when the budget came out, a lot of people spoke out about it. And then when we realized that some of the items that were not budgeted for in the one that was leaked were included in the proposed budget. So that means the voice of the people counted at a particular point. Now, we've run this advocacy for about 4 years now. And then after a lot of push, a lot of demands by Nigerians now know that when they collectively come together to seek transparency or accountability in a particular sector, they get the result. So now, as they are asking questions, as a transparency watchdog and organization, we are also pushing this question, using this question to push an open government, an inclusive government, and a government that listens to the demand of the people and see how we can cut this down. I'm not going to say it's a magical thing that we can just do at once and get the National Assembly to cut down the budget like that. But then it's not impossible, because we have shown that together we can actually get the National Assembly is a very huge institution, that we can get the National Assembly even against the agbada wearing and everything. We can still get them to listen to the people and provide a breakdown of what they are spending money on. So this is a good thing, and I really don't want us to rest on the laurel. Like you said, we can't. We really can't. It's one of the things we've been discussing since the budget has been released. It has been giving us concern, because we need to know what next. So we identified it, and we are working on seeing how we can ensure that the cost of governance and the budget is reduced.
Well, thank you so much, Abayami, for being a part of this open NAS discussion, and we wish you all the best as you ask for other things. That's the focus of open NAS.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Well, that's it for this discussion, but we'll bring you the trending videos for the past week.
The president will assent to the budget.
After the passage of the 2017 appropriation bill in the National Assembly, the question of who will assent to it in the absence of President Muhammadu Buhari became a trending question. The senior special assistant to the president on National Assembly matters, Ita Enang, cleared the air on this based on the acting powers which have been transferred to the vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo.
I will abandon the PDP straight away. I will never work with Sheriff. I've said that. I don't mind what. I cannot work, I cannot do anything with Sheriff.
The governor of Ekiti State, Ayo Fayose, has threatened that he might leave the major opposition People's Democratic Party if the ongoing row within the party ends in favor of Ali Modu Sheriff.
The strategy for the 2018 election is entirely my business. The way I go about it is entirely my business.
Tears of joy was abundant when the recently released aged 2 Chibok schoolgirls met with their parents after about 3 years of separation. The development got reaction from the world.
Do you regret that relationship?
Of course. Of course.
Nollywood actress Toyin Aimaku made it to the trending videos last week when she opened up on her failed marriage.
Because I made him. You want to make me cry, but no, I'm not going to cry. I made a terrible mistake, which, so,
And the most watched video for the week was the reliving of some memorable moments with late actress Moji Olaiya. The 42-year-old actress passed away in Canada just 2 months after she was delivered of a baby girl.
Opening up the books seems to be just the beginning. The people want more from their lawmakers. Well, that's where we'll pause the discussion on Channels Beam until next week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Amy Thompson.